joining us at What the Duck is Happening. My name is Adrian. I'm joined again by my good friend and co-host, Drew. What's up, Drew?
Yo, 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 what's going on?
Nice. Remember to hit that subscribe button and please share with your friends if you're enjoying this show. This week we have a very, very special guest joining us, superstar producer and good friend of the show, Zack Caparelli, to talk about sex.
Ooh!
That's right. We're talking sex. As a straight man, I have absolutely no idea what it's like growing up as a gay man and what the bullshit that he had to have gone through growing up. And I've always just been interested. So we're going to sit down. We're going to have a talk about what it is being a gay man in the world today and the stereotypes that he hates and all that stuff. So we're going to have some fun with that coming up later in the episode. But first, we're going to get into our quack of the days. We're going to get into why the government is apparently making a reality show for immigrants. And then we're going to be breaking down music from the 2000s. And is that now classic rock? We'll find out. So hopefully stick around and we're going to get into that today. So let's hop right into it. Let's get into the quack of the day. All right, so today for my quack of the day, we are talking about the government and Hollywood combining for some fun.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
All right.
If you haven't seen yet, going around the media, the Department of Homeland Security is apparently considering a reality TV show where immigrants compete to become citizens.
I love it.
Like in a vacuum, this is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard, and I love it. But as far as
it's ridiculous,
yeah,
but I'm all for it.
If this wasn't real life, this is fucking amazing. But the fact that this is a real thing being brought up and like not just immediately tossed aside by the Homeland Security and like by our administration, that's fucking insane, dude. That's
that they're actually considering it.
Yeah,
somebody came up with the idea. Yeah. Hey, let's put on a reality game show to determine whether or not you get citizenship to the United States.
Yeah.
That could work.
And it's the worst part is like it will. Like if it came out, people would fucking watch, dude. And then that person you say who like ran, his name's Rob Warsoff. He's the guy who made Duck Dynasty, and I didn't know this was a show. Dating Naked apparently is a show. I've heard of. I think
Dating Naked.
Yeah. I'm interested.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Okay. Well, I've heard of, was it Naked and Afraid or Naked and Alone?
Dude.
Yeah, I know you watched that one, right?
Daryl and I just started getting into that show. We've already fallen off because it obviously after a few episodes it's the same shit. It's one of those shows where it's very dependent on the people in the episode, So like I've probably watched like 20 now. And like certain episodes are awesome because the people in it, like there was this one where it was these two twins from, I think they're Australian or New Zealander, I think. And dude, it was like Alloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. Like they were fucking they were twin sexy redhead white chicks that were badass with bow and arrows, and they fucking hunted all this shit. Dude, it was
that's entertaining to watch. Okay,
that episode was
sure.
dope. It was fucking, that's the one that hooked me in. And then I would notice as I was watching, like certain episodes were fucking amazing, then other ones, the two, I don't know, cast or whatever, the two people in the episode, they were just both douchebags and they would just fight the whole time, and you're like, this isn't fun to watch. You guys are just a bunch of cunts. So it's definitely one of those shows where it depends on
who the current protagonist is of the episode.
Which I feel like that's like all reality shows too. Like Traitors, we were watching that, and like certain seasons.
It depends on who the traitors are.
Yeah. Do I really like you? Because if I don't, I'm turning that shit off. But yeah, that's
are you really cool, Danielle, or do I just
exactly? We all love Zack
Danielle, dude.
So we wanted him to go. But then, fucking boss.
Oh, baby Efron. Oh, baby Efron.
All right. Well, that's a whole. Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, that's
reality show.
Who pitched this show apparently is Rob Warsoff. He's the guy who brought us Duck Dynasty, and apparently Dating Naked, which we will have to go check out.
And we are worse off for it.
But yeah, that's my crack of the day. I don't know, man. Like, we're in a weird fucking spot, dude. Like, it's hilarious that this is here, but the fact that it is a reality, and apparently, like, that's the one thing, you know, as I was reading into it, like, the DOJ, they get like thousands of television shows pitched to them every single year of trying to, like, whether it's like, oh, let's follow the people in iron mills or fucking the oil people or whatever. Like there are people pitching legitimate-ish, you know, documentaries and stories to the government. So, like, I understand that they see thousands of these, but it's so hilarious that, like, this one got through, and of course it made the media because it's so funny. And the fucked up thing about it is that when asked about it, the people running our country were like, they weren't immediately like, yeah, we're not fucking doing that because that's insane. They were like, yeah, I mean, we'll look into it. And we'll look into it. That's the fucked up part of the story, is that our government didn't just look at this like most people look at this and say, yeah, that's obviously insane
and immediately
and we're not going to
yes.
like make a game out of people trying to fucking like build their lives and become a citizen. That's what's fucked up.
People are trying to escape these war-torn countries, and we want to put them on TV. And what was it, like, MXC them?
Yeah, it's insane.
Most extreme challenges or whatever.
One of the challenges is who can dig out the most gold from a California mine.
Wait, they've already come up with challenges?
Yeah. Another one is a Detroit auto factory, and they have to assemble a Ford Model T. Yeah. So
what?
this is coming from the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, a bunch of, you know, legitimate places have been publishing this story right now. Just kind of broke over this weekend, and it's been fucking cracking me up. So I was like, dude, we got to talk about this. It's insane. It's one of those, like, another of the many things that is pushing us towards idiocracy, where you hear these things and you're like, there's no fucking way, but there is, and it's happening. Right?
And it's happening.
It's
idiocracy
scary,
is
dude.
Coming to light. Oh,
it's
man,
insane.
I need to rewatch that movie because I need to prepare myself for the inevitable future, which is coming soon, apparently.
It's so good. It's here.
It's here. We're experiencing it. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama, for being a badass.
Do you not remember the Thanks Obama meme that had been going around like forever?
The which one?
The Thanks Obama.
I missed that one. I missed
what?
I missed that.
Like during his entire presidency and like afterwards, like that was just the meme. Thanks, Obama. And even Obama himself would like clown on it.
No.
No, I just sound like an idiot. That's fine.
No, I probably sound like the idiot for not remembering.
That's cool.
We see too much shit, dude. like especially in the field we work in, the news. I was talking to one of our guests the other day, and I was like, yeah, it's so fun, you know, working, and we get to and I kind of sunk myself in a corner where I just kind of started rambling and was like, oh yeah, it's so fun being in the morning news, and we get to meet all these cool local businesses and blah blah blah. And he was like, oh cool, so like what's like a good local restaurant I should try out? And I was like, ooh,
I actually don't know.
Think of anything. And I was telling him, I was like, dude, to be quite honest, like when I leave every day, I remember maybe one story, and it's normally like, oh, this random cute dog like swam across a river holding a stick. It was so cute. You know, it's like the dumbest fucking story.
We try to remember the least, the least horrible thing that we've heard that day.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, that's my crack of the day, man. We're I don't know. We're in a weird spot. Like Squid Game, you know what I mean? Like Squid Game, the fact that Netflix made that show was just such like a blatant like fuck you almost to what the show actually represented, which was like the fact that these poor people are willing to literally die just to get themselves out of poverty and to do whatever they needed to do it. And then Netflix is like, yeah, we can make that cute. And it's like, I think you kind of missed the point, but sure, they made, I'm sure, millions of dollars doing that show. So,
who do you think's going to produce this show if they actually make it?
This one? I mean, the dude who pitched it's this Rob Warsoff guy, so it would be him if they did it.
But what streaming service or
Stupid.
cable provider would actually carry this? Is this like an NBC?
No, I don't think NBC would stoop that low.
It'd be a Fox.
I think, yeah, maybe Fox, yeah.
It'd be a Fox.
I'm trying. What was the one that just hit me? I can't think of it now. Yeah, I can't think of it now. But like, what's like Impractical Jokers and all those things on? Like one of those networks. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know.
Like True TV or one of those. You know what I mean? Like one of those. I don't think any of the big networks would take something this silly, but I do think it. I do think something this silly would 100% air. I think it would be more on like Wipeout and like, you know, American Ninja Warrior I think is NBC. So I guess they've made it. But you know what I mean? Like it'll be like one of those fucking bullshit, like True TV, you know what I mean? Where they're willing to like, hey, we'll put on some kind of bullshit television, and you know, if you like it, you don't. You do, and if you don't, you don't.
We'll put it on. We're getting paid. We don't care.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's my quack of the day. So what you got for us today? We're talking music, I hear. So what you got?
Yes, we're talking music. My quick quack is it's basically it's dedicated to this existential crisis that is realizing my favorite pop punk songs from 2005 are now turning 20 years old, and
We old.
is yeah, we are getting old, and like now my favorite music is considered classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was looking at Spotify stuff, and like all the songs that I still listen to today, like all my Newfound Glory, all my Yellow Card and Fall Out Boy, like all that stuff is like throwbacks. I think it labeled it as throwback jams, and I'm like,
yeah,
the fuck, dude. Like I swear, like I feel like I was listening to this stuff like 5 years ago, and it's a 20-year-old throwback now, and I feel so old.
Oh, it's the worst.
My heart.
It's the worst. Throwback sounds better than classic, I think.
Oh, I don't consider those classic. Like
classic.
when we were younger.
Just think about the timeline.
Yeah.
When we were in 2007, classics were like the 80s. Right, like that was 30 years.
Classics were 80s.
Classics were like, or 70s, I guess. Like,
yeah, I think 80s was still 80s.
Yeah, 80s was still, I guess 80s and 70s. We'll say like 70s, 60s was classic.
70s,
so like
60s
40
classic
years,
rock, yeah.
Right? But now, I mean, dude, we're 2025. It's 25 years ago.
Dude, we're in 2025. Let that sink in.
So maybe we're not
there.
classic yet. Maybe it's not classic yet. Maybe it's throwback. Maybe that is the difference. Is it's throwback, and then another 5 years from now we'll jump into classic.
I guess I'm okay.
But Nirvana's classic because it's in the 90s. So anything from the 90s, I think we've hit that classic.
Okay, so going back to 90s, like I remember I told you, I don't know. I don't want to think as 90s as classic rock.
But I think it is. I think that like 90s grunge rock is like become classic. You know?
So Nirvana's
like,
classic rock. How many
kids nowadays even know who the fuck I guess Kurt Cobain's he's too big. So maybe not.
For them to not know who that is.
Yeah, maybe Kurt Cobain. But like like the emo shit we listened to in the 2000s, there's no way any of these fucking kids know what the hell we're like. My Chemical Romance and Yellow Card and those bands that were like big but not generational, you know what I mean? Like popular for us.
What are you talking about? My Chemical Romance isn't generational. Are you kidding? Like they're like the beginning, like 3 chords of their song trigger the entire generation. Like you know exactly what song it is when Black Parade comes on. You're like, oh, yeah. My Chemical Romance. Oh, AFI is coming on. Like,
God, some AFI. Let's go.
But yeah, music is it's aging. It is aging, and it makes me sad that most of my music that I still listen to is considered throwbacks now.
Yeah. I think about that like every couple months. I remember reading this study talking about that and how like when you it's one of the signs that you're getting old is when you're no longer looking at new music coming out. You're kind of just you're like, this is my musical taste and this is what I like, and I'm not even searching anymore. And that was like one of the like big things that said you're getting older, because basically you're just like, I don't give a fuck anymore. And I thought that was so funny. And I heard that, or read this, whatever, I can't remember where I found it, but I read this like years ago, and I always think about that, like all the time. I'm like, yep, yeah, I don't give a shit about any, like, and that, and you see all these new, I'll say it all the time, we work in the news, and so we always air stories of like all these new bands and the new Grammy winners and all this, and it's always like, who the fuck is
Dude, I couldn't tell you a single artist that's like emerged
that?
within the last decade.
Yeah. And we're not old, like we're 35, like we're not, I mean, we're older, I guess, but like we're not.
Bro, my knees are old. My
Yeah, my
back
body's
is
old,
old.
it hurts, but I mean, I'm not. Like, I didn't think by 35 I'd be like the old guy who doesn't know shit about music, like I'm a fucking musician, dude, like you are too, like, we've been playing music our whole fucking lives.
Went to
And
college
yet
for music, dude. What the hell?
I think that's what threw me off the most, is I was like, well, I'm a musician, I'll be like this forever. Like, I play
Nope.
guitar, I've played piano my whole life, like I sing, I play drums, like I love music. I figured I would be one who was like always looking at the new shit, but there was something that hit when I was like, I don't know, 23, 24, where it was like,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't need anything new. I got the bands I
Right.
like.
I like what I like, and that's
Yeah,
it. I'm
I know what I like.
settling in.
Yeah. Oh
But
man,
I will say, I know last episode I was talking about rewatching Buffy,
oh yeah.
and
I sent you
dude,
that
like
link.
all the music is like all this 90s rock. And I'm listening to, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about these. Like, these are good.
Oh, Buffy's big on like Creed and like
I haven't heard any Creed yet, but
no
what
Creed.
was
Or no,
the
Creed I guess was 2000's, huh?
I think
Uh,
Creed was
they were
2000s,
like
but
late
the
90s, early 2000s, yeah.
yeah, but one of the bands that popped up was remember Four Star Mary?
Maybe if I heard them.
Okay, Four Star Mary, Shadows started playing, and it was one of the bands in the show was like acting like they were playing that song, but I was like, I recognize this song, and I looked it up. I was like, oh shit, this is Four Star Mary.
Yeah, I don't think I can't remember that one. Probably if I heard it though.
Probably.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
Some Nine Inch Nails, like all those guys.
I feel you, dude. This is the worst. We're not that old yet, but this was frustrating. It's making me feel old.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Oh man. All right. Well, you ready to move on? You good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
We got a guest coming on.
We do. We have a very, very, very special guest today. I'm super excited. We're hoping to start bringing on some more guests as this show continues to grow and keeps going on to more things. So I'm very excited to get to our next guest. So why don't we get to that? All right. So today we have a very, very special guest, good friend of the show, the amazingly talented producer, great coworker, and even better friend, the extra fabulous Zack Caparelli. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. So,
Real good, real good.
I wanted to start today. We had a little side convo like a week ago, and I thought it was so fun that we should add it into the cast. So, why do you spell your name as a Zachary, right? So Z-H, Zachary. You decided to spell your name Z-A-C-K, which me and Drew didn't know for the longest time. And when I was writing your name down, I kept writing it wrong and felt like a dick. But then the story you told me was so funny that I thought people could really relate. So why did you end up changing your name to the K?
Changing makes it sound way more dramatic.
Okay,
To be fair,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
I was
They
five.
didn't like legally change it, yeah.
I was 5 years old, and you're in like kindergarten, and you're learning the alphabet and how to form words and why you sound them out the way you do. And they start telling us that ch makes the ch sound, and I like start having like an existential crisis at 5. And I go home all pissed off. Um, because I'm like, Mom, my name isn't Zach. Like, why would you do that to me?
Yeah, I'm not
I'm not Zachary. Like, what a preposterous name. And long story short, I like made such a stink about it. We were just like, fine, your name is Zack now. You're not confused. It's very clear. But like, we obviously didn't legally change it. Like, it's just a nickname to a degree. So,
I love it.
yeah, here we are. I almost changed it to ZACH when I went to college because I thought like fresh start, but my mom was like, "No, like that's your name,
You're just like,
at
you know
this
all the
point."
paperwork you have to go through to do something like that. She's like, just
Yeah,
leave it.
yeah. But yeah, so that's how we are. That's how we got Zach or Zaque, you know,
Zakia.
for Drew's French interpretation.
Well, I've been playing Expedition 33 too much, so I'm very French oriented right now. So Zaque is what I like to go with the QE.
The
That's
cute.
valid. Maybe I'll legally change it to that spelling.
Yeah, if you do legally
I
change
I
it,
like
yeah,
that.
do that.
I
Hmm.
think with a Q for sure.
I would have
Miss
to drop
Riley.
the Uri part, you know.
Well,
Yeah, we got an intruder.
you can't just have this intruder into our podcast and not say anything. Who
You
is
know, I'm
this
just
lovely
so.
beast?
This is Riley, local celebrity Riley, as seen on local news stations across Southern California and Southern Colorado. So yeah, I'm just used to this. Personal space is not a concept in this house.
I'm all
So
for it, man. I wish
I
Riley
love
would do
it.
that. I've like tried to bring him in here, and he's like, "Fuck you, dude. I'm I'm chilling on the couch."
I don't want to go in there with you. You're screaming the whole time. It's making me uncomfortable.
Oh man.
aw,
Yeah.
she
No,
she got her toy. She's leaving. Don't worry.
yeah, I don't know. I thought that was super funny. I know Drew, you would change your name, and or I guess not change. I keep saying change, but you always go by Drew, Dru, instead of
Hmm.
Andrew. And that to me, it's just interesting because I never had nicknames. Like I think because of my name, just Adrian, like it just kind of went. I guess, or I don't fucking know. I just never was
Your
like,
name is, yeah, it's very standalone, but it's not like a short name either, you know? So I could
yeah,
understand the desire to have an abbreviated version.
yeah. I was like, where's my nickname, bro? What's up? I want a cool nickname. I didn't get
I
one.
don't know what I'd call you.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's what always it was like. Yeah, I
Were
don't know.
you just
Adrian's kind of a cool name. I just go by
Adra.
that. I don't know. I guess.
Adrian?
I always got
It's like,
AJ because I mumble so much. So I would like go on vacation and meet kids when I was like 12 or whatever in the jacuzzi or the pool, some other little kid, and they always thought AJ, and I would just be like, yeah, I'll go with that.
well,
Yeah,
what's your
I mean,
middle name?
That's, Alexander, another, I don't know,
double
Or
A.
A? Double A? Like
A.
double
You're
A?
you're the Energizer Bunny.
That's right, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. All right. Well, I guess enough name talk. If you guys are good with that, why don't we get into the real juice of today? The real topic. We really real reason we brought Zach on. We wanted to talk about some fun, and like I said in our intro, I don't know, man. Just like as a straight man growing up, I never knew what it was like being gay. I always had questions. I always just thought it was so. And I don't want to like sound fucked up, but it was just so intriguing to me, like because it's not a choice. Like it is something like I don't know why I'm straight. I just grew up straight. Do you know what I mean? There was never question about it. That was just how I thought. I saw a girl and it was like I want to bang that. Like so. I've always just thought it was so interesting. Like what how was it growing up, especially like the bullshit that we've gone through growing up, and as society has kind of changed and become more acceptable of it. I thought it would just be a really fun topic to talk about, and I thought it'd be something to kind of dive in that for straight people, shit that maybe you haven't heard or thought about that would be interesting and good to you. And if you're gay, maybe you just agree and you're on Zach's side, you know. But I thought it'd be fun to bring you in and talk about some stuff, right? Like, and even as something as small as that, like I said, like, are
No,
you
like it's
annoyed? Or yeah, no, go for it. If you have anything you want to
just
yeah.
like in the comparison when you're like it was so obvious for me. I always wanted to bang girls and like I always thought girls were pretty, but I kind of just viewed them as like delicate flowers and I didn't want to like hurt them,
I know.
and like I would always just like think of how I would talk about like my like in middle school and high school like love interests to like with my other guy friends and they'd be like, look at so and so's tits, and I'd be like, yeah, she's really funny,
Yeah,
like
She's really funny. She's got a
um
nice
she is really
personality.
nice.
yeah, I would love hanging out. Like we talk for hours, you know.
She's so
Um,
smart.
yeah, and then even like, like a lot of gay people talk about like as a kid, like the infamous journey to the underwear aisle, where you would be lost in the store looking for your mom, and if you came by like the Calvin Klein underwear where it's like the freaking ripped guys,
That's
and
so
just
funny.
like brief underwear, and we all would just like stop, and we didn't know why, but it's always like a really common thing that gay guys
That's
talk
so
about.
funny.
Yeah,
Something's
Yeah,
so
drawing
like
me in
that's exactly
here.
what I wanted. Yeah, I never thought about that. Like, but
yeah,
that's so
so
true. That's so funny. Just those dogs. Because yeah, I would see that as the girls, and you're like, man, the pair of tits. Holy shit, that's weird. That's
Right.
like,
yeah,
okay.
and for you, like guys would always like stop by walking by Victoria's Secret, and I remember
Yeah.
actually like I got lost at the mall as a kid, and the lady giving perfume samples in front of Victoria's Secret like saw me and like brought me inside, and I remember I didn't feel like ooh like look at all the. It was very much like oh this is my mom's like the women's store. Like why am I in here? Like I can't believe I'm lost. Where's my mom? Why is it so dark in here? It wasn't like a ooh like exciting
Th-
feeling as a kid
There was no
either.
exciting turn on feeling being in that store
No,
at all. It
no,
was
and
just like,
even
yeah,
yeah, and even when like I was in college and we talk about like Alexis Wren was the big Sports Illustrated girl when I was in college and stuff, and gorgeous, and I followed her on Instagram because I felt like I was supposed to,
That's
but I
amazing.
I never was like oh like genuinely thinking about her in my free time or anything,
Yeah.
or there was no like natural obvious lust but never like oh wow I can't imagine like hooking up with her like that those things didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
banging
That's
her
gotta
never
be.
crossed your mind. Yeah.
I mean like I think I told myself that but I was like in denial.
So did you
hmm
have like was there just like one day where like it clicked? Like you were hanging out with your buddy growing up, he was like your best friend growing up, and then he was eating a banana and you're like all of a sudden like, bro, love
No
that. Or were you like it grew and I'm sorry, I know that was ridiculous. I felt like
no
you guys
no
were like, hey, the
no
banana's
because
good for you. But
I do like look back and think like I probably had crushes in a sense of my behavior with certain friendships with guys, but I
Mhm.
never acted on anything then. But I think I became aware by the end of high school. I at least was kind of attracted to dudes.
Mhm.
But I like really lied to myself and was like, "Oh no, you're just bi and you can live a totally normal life. So why ever act on it?" type
Mhm.
situation.
hmm
But I don't really know. Like I also think like socially, again, talking like people would talk about
Yeah.
girls, and I obviously couldn't relate. I think like I started to notice some things like in that aspect, and like why is it easier
Yeah.
for me to have girlfriends? Like I think when you're a grown up, having a girlfriend, when you're a guy is not uncommon. But I think also everyone looks back to their high school days and they know a guy and girl friendship where they were best friends, but that guy was gay, like
Oh yeah.
always. Like
hmm
every school had
Even
one,
still.
and I think that was just more like a path I eventually took. Um, and I think I really became okay being gay actually after, ironically enough, I was like in a fraternity with a bunch of progressive guys like that were open to that idea. And one of my good
Okay.
friends, who was gay in college, like would hang out with all of us and none of them cared. And it really took like me seeing them in that environment, to I think like fully like be like, you know what, maybe this is totally normal and I'm freaking out about nothing.
Mhm.
And that's like when I actually was like, okay, after college, maybe I'll like come out and figure this all out for myself.
But so then were you like growing up in high school, were you still figuring it out in high school and you're like, I'm trying to bang these girls to like see
Yeah.
if I'm into it and like try and figure it out, or
Oh,
like you
100%.
yeah.
But I think I fumbled the ball all the time. Like
I mean
yeah,
we
I
fumble the ball
wasn't.
as a straight guy, so I can't imagine.
No, but yeah, like it was always ever like I don't know. Like I remember I went on a date with a girl and I was like, I guess we didn't go far enough because like she stopped talking to me after. And maybe that was just an assumption. But I remember I had to like talk like it wasn't like natural. Like when I think
Yeah.
of like me and my boyfriend now, like when we start to hook up, it's just like, whoa, and all of a sudden you can't hold back. It's a
Yeah.
natural
Yeah.
hormonal thing. Where I was like trying to like talk myself into like, just do it. You can do
Yeah, you
it,
can do this. Don't
Yeah, it was two very
worry.
different experiences.
So do you think that these girls that you dated it back in high school or tried to date back in high school, they knew
I think
before
about
you
that all
did?
the time.
Oh
I
yeah.
think about that
Like that's the
all.
reason they stopped talking to you, like, oh, that's why we didn't work out.
Yeah.
He's
Well, I
not
don't
really
think.
into
They're like
me.
he was cute, but I found out he was gay, so now I'm not
I
Yeah.
think in high school maybe they just thought I was prude, where I don't
That's
think that
true.
was the
Well,
case
I think
come.
you're prude now, so.
Okay, that's totally fine. I've never told you anything about what happens in my bedroom. But
I'm kidding, Zach. I
yeah,
love
I
you.
Actually, back when I worked on the morning show with you guys, this girl that the last girl I hooked up with before I like just fucking owned it, messaged me on Twitter and was like, "I saw you live in San Diego," and she was like being very nice and like offering actually to be like, "Hey, I know people in news in LA if you ever wanted to like network." But I just was like always like, is this her like letting me know that she knows I'm a homo and like doesn't care? You know, like it was just so out of left field. And like that's all I could think about. And yeah, yeah.
That's so funny.
If you're one of those girls and you're listening to this, sorry, I guess, if you're upset.
Yeah, my bad. Love you. Sorry, not sorry.
I'm still upset about the fact that you left us from the morning show.
Yeah.
To be fair, you guys have quite the schedule, and it's a thankless shift. I give you guys all the props in the world. I'm not a morning show person. Like I'm too negative for that.
That's it. Give me the assault and the murder.
No, like I hate to say it. Like, there was a point in my career I realized I'm really good at producing up obituaries, and that's like really sad to admit to yourself.
But at least you've accepted it. You know what I mean? That's the first step. Like,
yeah, I'm not meant to like make those fun TV moments. I'm just not.
Yeah. It's such a night and day difference, man. It's insane. I always try to tell people that. I'm like, dude, like news is so different. Like the morning, it's your local restaurants, the shenanigans, weather, traffic bullshit, and then all of a sudden like 4 p.m. comes and it's like rape, murder, car crash, drunk.
Yeah, like I was writing a story the other day about like a woman who ran a surrogacy business and she stole money from like the most evil thing that you can imagine. And I was like, oh man,
surrogacy business? Oh god.
Yeah, like she would would take the like down payments and stuff from like the people who like were thinking that money was going towards like the fertilization process and stuff. And she stole like $100,000 from like several different families or aspiring families, whatever the situation is. And I was just like, wow, this is so awful. Anyway, adding it to my show, like it's just.
This will make for good content.
Yeah,
let's end this one.
I mean, it got a reaction out of you. It'll get a reaction out of someone else.
Yeah,
ratings. That's what we're all about.
That's the best thing about our business is like how comfortable we've all gotten. Like I remember noticing that the first time where I was like directing a hit and there was like a brutal murder, like, and we were trying to get it with the helicopter and we like got like the helicopter came around the corner, we got the right shot and it happened to time out well so we could actually get it on air and we're all in the control room like, fuck yeah, like we got that shot, this is dope. And it's like, oh wait, these people are losing their homes, like mass destruction, like I'm just awful situation.
Yeah.
And I'm in here like, fuck yeah, I got the shot, this is sick.
Yeah, no, I mean,
but you have to,
unfortunately,
we have to get through it, you know what I mean?
We have to be numb to it at a certain point too. Like it's heavy stuff. I mean, like, I know everyone thinks the world in general is heavy, and like my job is to write about all that, you know, and like you can either compartmentalize those feelings or you can be more depressed. Depressed is just the default these days, but you know what I mean? So, and that's just how you gotta navigate it. It's not because we are heartless. It's just because otherwise we literally just, and if we let our emotions get to it, no one would do this job.
Yeah. So comedy is the best, man. Comedy is like the best way to get through. Like honestly, that's why I started this podcast. It was just like honestly, I was feeling just depressed and just over it, and just like I need to get this frustration out. And it was like, let's have some fun. Let's go shoot the shit. Let's record it. Why not? I know there's other people going through the same shit as me, so let's have some fun.
So when are you gonna start making jokes?
I don't know. Soon, one day. Episode 20.
Damn. He said, so when are you going to start being funny?
Yeah.
You're 13 episodes in. I haven't even laughed yet. You jerk.
Bastard.
I'm sorry. It was low-hanging fruit. I had to.
I hate you. I can't do this anymore. Oh, man. Well, is there anything you had that you wanted to get? I have a couple more questions, but was there anything you had? Get the hell out of here, dog. God damn it, Riley.
Well, dude, I was just wiping her hair off my coffee table. She's not near me.
She's not even there. Calm
She's
down,
like laying
Adrian.
down by the window.
I just see you doing this.
Sorry, it's all
Riley's head pops up like, what? What did I do? I didn't do anything. I'm over here sleeping.
Literally, I'm a good girl. I'm getting yelled at.
That's why Shadow doesn't want to be in the room with you, Adrian.
Yeah, that's why Shadow doesn't want to be on the podcast.
That bastard.
I want you guys to tell me what you think of as the stereotypical gay man, and I want to evaluate it. I want to tell you, like, if that person exists, if it's much more complex than that. Like, when you're thinking, actually, I lied, and I don't want you to use what I just said because that was a dumb idea. I want to know if you could tell if I was gay or not before we met, and if so, how could you tell? And no, me talking about having a boyfriend does not count.
Ah, that was a go-to.
Yeah. I don't think when I first met you, I don't think I thought you were gay. Because you don't carry yourself as, like, I guess, like, a flamboyant gay. Like, you're very, I don't know, you're still kind of masculine, dude. Like, you're working out, you're buff and all this stuff, and, like,
yeah.
You
beefy motherfucker.
You big beefy motherfucker, and, like, I don't know. I thought you were straight at first. And then I don't know what it was all of a sudden that, like, made it click. That I think it was that I met your boyfriend at, like, someone's going away party, and I was like, oh, Zach's gay. Okay, that makes sense.
Adrian,
I think it's harder nowadays because I watch a lot of stuff with my wife. She's, like, really into RuPaul's Drag Race and stuff. I feel like I watch a lot of that. But I would say with you specifically, the only reason I knew, and I feel like, hopefully I don't sound like an asshole like this, but your voice, I feel like it was just a little bit, the way you talk a lot, it has a little bit of a higher octave to things to where.
No, that's so valid.
And that was the only reason that I was like, me. And it wasn't like he's 100% gay, because I do have some friends who just kind of have, like, they just talk higher. But that's normally my tell, is how people talk, and, like, they're accentuating certain words and stuff. And then, yeah, just, like, the tone, I guess. But it's
totally valid.
Because you never know, because, like I said, some people just
have a higher octave voice, yeah.
So that's valid. I've gotten that before, so I'm not surprised.
If you take that and you're beefy and good looking, then I'm like, all right, he's probably gay.
So, and that's what I was actually about to say, because when I think of stereotyping gays, I think of people, like, with mega body dysmorphia that, like, live at the gym. Like, that's definitely a group of gays, for sure. And so it's always funny for me when people are like, oh, you work out. I'm like, the more you work out. I think bodybuilding is so inherently gay. Like, you're obsessed with, like, bodies and, like, muscles and looking a certain way. And, like, nobody is gayer than a straight man at the gym who, like, wants to geek out over his muscle friend. Like, it's so funny, They're like, oh, bro, you're looking so good. Like, look at your art. And, like, it's just like, bro, like, I don't want anyone touching me, So, like, that's, like, so funny to me. But you just see them, like, all, like, these guys just huge steroid bros touching each other, and you'd honestly think that they were the ones that are into that, into men.
Yeah, like the infamous sporting smack in the ass in the locker room.
Literally.
What can be more gay than being excited for your buddy and smacking him in the ass when he's all sweaty?
There was a guy in my frat who insisted on smacking everyone's ass, and I got to a point where I was like, I actually think that they are gay. Like, this is crazy. Like, you would, like, move and they would be like, get back here, and you'd be like, I don't think that, like, something weird is happening with this interaction, But he's married to a woman, so who am I to say,
Is she a butchy woman?
No comment.
She might be listening.
I just, like, I don't think I'm the person that, like, I think she has qualities that are very feminine, and then, like, just like anyone, like, she's a nuanced human when it comes to, like, what she looks like. Yeah. I'm not trying to be a hater.
Do you think you have, like, a super good radar, or, like, gay radar? Do you see, like, couples where you're like, that dude's gay as hell? Like, he's
like straight couples?
Yeah, like a straight couple, and you're like, that dude's gay as hell.
I
see that sometimes, and I'm like, maybe I'm just wrong, but I swear to God, that dude is.
So I'm gonna lean towards no, and it's because I definitely think I went through a phase where anyone who was kind of an ally, like, I just couldn't believe that straight guys could be, like, great allies, at least, like, in a comfortable with their sexualityness. And so, anytime anyone was an ally, I was like, do I think so-and-so is gay? And, like, they could just be 100% comfortable with themselves. But that concept was so crazy to me.
Yeah.
There's like I feel like it has to be really like obvious. Like they have the very stereotypical, they're flamboyant, they have the Valley Girl voice, and like but I also I don't know because I realize that there's people who come in like all shapes and sizes. There's people that like the longer that I've been
Yeah.
out that I kind of almost like that person looks gay. And I don't know how to describe that, but the way they carry themselves is, and then they're not,
Yeah.
because like no stereotype is 100% accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. There's no one recently. There's definitely people back in college that like when I've heard they've come out since, I'm like, yeah, that checks.
Yeah, yeah.
Or high
We
school.
knew
Like
that in
those things.
college.
Clock
Yeah.
that early.
But not like very many modern couples. But that said, we're also in a gay as fuck city. Like I can't imagine being in the
Yeah.
closet in San Diego and trying to make yourself feel straight.
Yeah.
Because there's so many like we have a gay neighborhood. Not all big cities have that,
Yeah, Hillcrest is one of the
Um,
biggest in
Hmm.
the country. Like,
yeah, and we got like a billion gay. Like when I lived in Denver, I think there was like 5 or 6 gay bars, which I thought was a lot for a city. San Diego's got like way more. Chicago's got way more. New York City, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So actually, I'm such a liar. The military is filled with closeted gay men. So
Oh my
I'm
God,
I
that is one I would love to
Hmm.
get into, like find
Hmm.
some military people and talk about that. That's a
yeah,
good.
like the Navy and the Marines
Yeah,
like are known. Yeah, yeah.
I can see that.
So
Well,
yeah,
that was actually one of my questions was because we are in such a very gay friendly community. We're in San Diego, so we have Hillcrest, one of the biggest gay communities in the country. Do you notice that like when you go traveling, or do you find sometimes where you're like, maybe I should kind of like hide being gay, like especially when you're with Cody, or do you guys find like, oh, I feel uncomfortable where we're going and maybe we should like try and not, like, do you ever feel that, or are we kind of at that point nowadays where that's not like such an issue and you feel comfortable kind of anywhere?
no, I mean, so just like back context, I've like been to countries where like, and this was before I came out too. When I backpacked through Asia and stuff, I still like dating and sex wasn't something I cared about. So I went to countries where like being gay, like I would have been killed if like I was caught, in theory, doing
Same.
like those kinds of acts. So not like that, nothing on that level. But that said, I haven't like gone back to those places since. Um, I mean, there's definitely been times where like I've traveled to the South or like I'm going to like a more conservative family member's wedding where like I
Yeah.
feel like not that we like can't be ourselves, but we're definitely not gonna like people don't like PDA in general. And then
Yeah.
like,
Right.
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 that like but maybe that's something that we're thinking about. When I lived in Colorado Springs, Cody got made fun of for how he dressed. Um, like they kind of like called him slurs and stuff just because he had like checkered pants and stuff. And I think like sometimes I've had fears for him, but he like doesn't care. And I like envy
That's good.
his yeah, like ability to push through that. But I don't there I think those places that you're thinking of, we're not going to those places because there's
Yeah. I
also
mean,
like
that's
in a
true.
sense of
Hmm.
what is there for me, like more places where they're worried about that or they don't want to see us. Like I if I'm traveling, I either want to go to a city where there's tons of things to do,
Yeah.
whether it's theater, live music, art, friends, or I want to go like I do like nature and stuff, but even when you think of like America's most green and beautiful places,
Yeah. Some of
they're
those are in the South and in the
most of them are in
Hmm.
progressive places though. Rocky Mountain National Park, Yosemite,
yeah.
all of Washington State, Canada, you know.
Yeah.
So those things like you just don't need to think about it. And again, when you're on those kinds of trips, that's not even on your mind really. You're there to see nature and stuff and like you're so isolated that
Good.
you're not really engaging with people that would even come up and stuff. So as long as you're not like causing a scene, I just you just go forward.
No, that's good. Like, because I just
I love
wonder,
that.
like growing up in the time we did, like in the 90s, 2000s, and like, I feel like in the time we were growing up, it was like we've kind of been through where it was crappy, and then as it really started getting a lot more progressive, like as a society, you know what I mean? So I always just
Hmm.
kind of wondered, like, is that still something that is, because I feel like when we were kids, like being gay was a lot more looked upon, and that was only, you know what I mean, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, that it was like a lot
Well,
more looked down upon or whatever. So I feel like it's gotten so much, but that's coming from a straight man, you know what I mean? So like I don't know, like have that I guess is what I wonder the most, like have we actually gotten as as progressive as I feel like we have, because in
Sure.
the same vein, I thought we got way less racist, and then Trump became president, and we've kind of like taken a step back, and it's like, so am I just spoiled as a, you know what I mean, like a white looking straight man, and I don't notice, or have we actually gotten better when it comes to, you know?
I think it's really hard to say. Something I find myself struggling with in a sense of understanding the world is the amount of information we have access to right now.
Oh yeah.
So for every like when I felt like when I was in high school, um, it still was like not frowned upon, but like the one or two kids that were out at my school, and I went to a big school. Everyone knew who the out kids were, and that was just kind of their whole persona. Like, sure, they could hang out with people and they'd be fine. And like, I'm not saying they put on that persona. Like, it was just like,
They
oh,
were like the gay kid, though.
that's the gay kid.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
it's just that's all they were.
Yeah.
And that's terrible.
Yeah.
But we still had like a GSA, a Gay Straight Alliance, where like, you know, that was like a thing in my school. Um, I say it's hard to like tell with the information thing though, because that said, we've heard more than ever before of like kids getting bullied to the point of suicide for being members of the LGBTQ
Yeah.
community. And it's really hard because in my head, where my initial answer to you was just going to be like, I think the places that it was getting progressive, it is more progressive. But I also think the places where it's more like just not in favor of those views, I just think like those places are more bigoted against LGBTQ folk like more than ever before.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to compare those things. So are we just seeing like more progressive things because like those are the environments that we came from, you know? Or is it actually worse than ever before? But we can't really evaluate that because we're hearing more stories than ever before. Because there's definitely stories of like gay kids killing themselves in the 90s, 2000s, where people didn't care. And so it's not reported on about that. It's just like a bullying thing. Like in Florida, we had Silence Hurts. Like we always had a bullying hotline, but it wasn't like because of these things. Where now like the Trevor Project has an LGBTQ suicide hotline number, you know, a very directed like thing for them. But is that because of like more awareness and like more incidents, or is that just because we're getting more tolerant? I don't. It's hard to tell.
Well, and that's like, man, that's so fucking crazy. Like coming like I said, like from a straight man, like I've never thought about, especially like when it comes to travel, I've never thought like, oh, is this place going to be friendly, or is that, you know, like that's never been for me. The only ever thought is like is this like a third world country where maybe I need to like watch my wallet a little bit more? Like that's like my only ever thought. So to like think about like what you're saying, and did it have to actually vet like where I'm going to travel as far as like shit, like am I gonna feel comfortable even going here, and like that is limiting where you can travel, I guess. Like that's kind of bullshit, and that's where I was like, is it, are we there? And it seems like
would
you
you go
still
to
are there, you know? Like
would you go to Jamaica tomorrow? When you think of Jamaica?
Yeah, I did. We went there 2 years ago. It was fucking awesome. Like you wouldn't go to Jamaica? Is that a problem? Do they not like
Jamaica? Is one of the most homophobic countries.
See, like what the fuck? Like I
didn't know that. That's crazy.
It's like there's very like pockets of the Caribbean. Some are very accepting and some aren't. But Jamaica specifically is one of the more like extremely against homophobia, or extremely homophobic rather. Sorry. But you know,
years, dude.
Yeah, and sometimes like we want to go places, and as we're like researching it, it's like, oh, guess not.
yeah. I'm not trying to get stabbed for just like cruising with my boy, dude.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. That's nuts. Because like I know we went to Amsterdam, and I'd found out that they were the first place to legalize gay marriage. So I know like that is a very I don't know. It's very big over there. Like they are very accepting, I guess. And I mean, I kind of should have assumed that, knowing that they're like the big, almost like sex capital of the world, essentially. But I thought it was pretty cool. When
Don't discredit Berlin like that.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for any listener from Berlin. My bad. But yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy. I don't know. That's like exactly what I kind of wanted to find out and talk to you, right? Like, cause like that's something I went to Jamaica, loved it, would have never thought about that in a million years. And that's fucking crazy, dude. I'm sorry.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know. What the duck is happening?
What the duck is happening, man?
Oh man. All right. Let me me see. Do I have any more legit? Oh, I have a very. All right, I got a fun one. I got a gross one for you. This one we'll see.
A fun one and the gross one.
I got a fun.
Oh boy.
I got a fun gross one. We'll see if you want to answer this. If not, don't worry. But we'll see. When I was trying to think of some questions, I was trying to, sit on my couch. I'm like, what can I think about to ask you? I thought about this, and it's very gross. So guys are fucking disgusting. I know we all are. And maybe, Drew, you're pretty disgusting, just like me.
I'm not denying it.
But there's going to be very gross. You guys obviously fuck each other up the ass. Are you getting shit on your dick constantly? Are you guys like extra fucking clean when it comes to ass fucking?
No.
Dude, you knocked his camera over with that question.
It was just more the phrasing of it. Oh, like, this is so funny to me. No, we call it douching. We clean out our asshole. We're not trying to have shit on our dick.
Well, like, I was like,
it smells. It's not like fun for anyone. That's the concept. If you try anal with your girl, bro, it should not smell. Like, you guys don't need to go through that. It doesn't, like, it should be a sanitary experience.
So you guys are experts, obviously.
Yeah, no, like, it's I mean, like, sometimes, like, accidents happen, you try your best, like,
yeah,
but
that's what I wonder. But it's gotta be because it's a couple
but like,
dudes,
we take precautionary like moments, and like, it's a total mood killer. Like, it starts to smell.
Yeah, you're like
yeah, so it's more like that.
But it's a constant douching process, because if you guys are like sexually active all the time.
But we talk about this. We can't have, like, maybe like when you're like, maybe you risk it more. I've been with my boyfriend for going on 7 years, so maybe when like and maybe when like you're starting and you're much more like rabbits, but like, you should probably do that. Or, well, some people have like a high fiber enough diet that they don't need to be fair. But like,
I never thought that.
Yeah.
Lots of fiber.
Bottoms love their fiber. And
you say bottoms love their fiber?
Bottoms love their fiber. They love
I
their
love
that. All right. Yeah, like, that's something that like it's more like a pre-sex activity. And like, my boyfriend and I complain, like, we can't have spontaneous sex like that unless you're really willing to risk it.
That's what I was just gonna ask. So if
Yeah.
you're gonna have sex, you gotta be like, okay, hold on, give me like what?
Let me get ready.
Minutes? Like, how long does it take? You gotta go and take a full shower.
No. Well, yeah, like, there's two parts to it, because obviously, like, after you do it, like, you shower, or at least like you want to clean your butt off at least, yeah.
But you have to take a shower before to douche your ass, and then shower after because you're
you douche and then you shower.
And then you shower.
Oh, okay.
And the top doesn't need. The top is just waiting.
The top is just.
He's just hanging out in bed like, let's do this.
Any day now.
Yeah.
He's watching porn in bed like, hurry up.
Kinda,
I'm gonna finish without you.
Yeah, come on, Dad.
But yeah, no. I actually like, because I think about that, like, I know straight couples have anal sex, and I don't think that that's common practice for straight couples. And I'm like, God, I just hope that they're like not just having shit all over the place. Like, that's it. It doesn't have to be that way.
Like, Daryl and I have not done that, and to me, it's not really something I'm like, man, I got to do that. Don't really care. I've tried it before in the past. It was fine. Didn't notice big enough difference that I'm like, man, I really got to do that.
I don't understand the purpose
it
for
was
straight.
Like, I did it once, and it was like, okay, it's
like guys have their prostate in their butt. Like, it makes sense but like, if you're having sex with someone with a vagina, in my head, it just.
You
Again,
don't need it.
we have risk. We have a risk reward
situation,
So why would you not have a normal situation that you don't need to risk something?
Yeah, that was why the thought came across, because I was like, man, I've never really, like, I did it once and it was like years ago, and I was like, well, me and Daryl, like, I don't know, like, what if I were to do that? Wouldn't I want, like, I wouldn't want shit all over my dick and have to be like.
Well, if you're wearing a rubber, it's not getting on there. It's fine.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. You do your day with the rubber on, and then you just take it off. You're good. I'm clean. You still get the baby wipes, and you wipe it up a little bit, but
Dude, we get a straight guys that you guys don't deal with is period blood. Every once in a while, when they're on their period, and you're like, all right, fuck it, I'm horny enough, let's go. Mm-hmm. And then you pull out, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Just not think about that there's blood all over my dick and just go wash that off real quick.
Did you ever watch Saltburn?
No, I didn't. I'm uncultured with movies.
Okay, so there was a scene in Saltburn where the dude eats the girl out who's on her period.
So I literally was thinking about how like guys in my frat
I wouldn't do that.
Oh
I wouldn't
God.
do that.
Yeah, like I was thinking I know straight guys that have done that, and I just didn't want to ask you guys because it just makes me disappointed. I don't want to like know that people have done that.
That's
like,
but also
I get horny, but I don't get that horny. Like, I can wait.
Also,
yeah, I'll wait, dude.
I'll wait.
It's okay.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that there's no like, is that anti-feminist?
No.
Is it?
No.
Oh.
I don't know.
If you're a woman and you're like, you need to eat me out while I'm
That's
on
true.
my period,
that's pretty demanding.
You're a fucked up woman. And I'm out.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It's one thing if you didn't know. It's another if you know and you force
if you didn't know
them.
you're on your period, they're eating you out.
Sure.
Oh my God, like that's totally sure. I could see that fine. But yeah, if you know.
I guess that's like what I was like. Yeah, okay.
That's fucked up, dude. I'm not gonna say anything. They'll figure it out. Oh my God.
They'll figure it out. Surprise!
So gross.
Oh no, you have a nosebleed. Oh wait.
It's not my nose, babe. It's not my nose.
Oh man. All right. Well, I don't know. I can't think of really any more questions. I think I asked pretty much everything.
Versifer?
A couple of the questions I had, they're just silly, goofy questions. Like we talked about it earlier before you jumped on. Was on average, how many iced coffees does it take to power through your shift?
Oh wait, no, that's a terrible one. Okay, so Drew's talking about like stereotypes that other gays like know about other gays, and gays love their iced coffee year round, and gays walk very fast. That said, I am not an ice.
Dude, Adrian comes in with his iced coffee every morning, and he walks very fast.
Wait,
he does. He has admitted to watching Drag Race during this recording.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is there something I don't know about myself?
I don't know, but hey, we love you no matter what, man.
Of course.
Love you guys too.
But that said, I am very much a hot coffee person. I need a hot beverage to work. So I don't really fall in line with that one at all. But it is one. Like that it'll literally be
a very common one.
Yeah, yeah. And I got clocked in college for being gay because apparently the gays at U of I were like, look how he walks. He walks so fast.
That's so funny. I haven't heard that one.
About the iced coffee. Yeah.
And the walking fast. All right. Sorry, guys.
Move, I'm gay.
Yeah, get the fuck out of the way. Gay man coming. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I guess I had this one. I don't know. I don't love this question, so if we don't like it, we'll kick it out. But I've just noticed the last few years, like LGBTQ, the acronym has gotten very, very fucking long, and it just keeps adding. Do you, as a gay man, are you like, hey, chill the fuck out, guys? Like, I don't need asexual, pansexual questioning part of my thing because all of that almost goes under the term queer, because queer is kind of like an umbrella term for like your like sexually exploring kind of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so it's an umbrella term. It's just like anything else in theory. Yeah. That's like a weird one because I'm never going to tell anyone like how everything should be. I don't think I know everything, and I'm not going to tell people like there's times that within that conversation people are like, well, that sexuality or gender identity isn't real, and like who am I to like say what's real and not real? If that's how somebody identifies and that's their perspective and perception of themselves, they know themselves better than I do. That said, I'm okay with LGBTQ plus, and I think like I'm fine with that. But if other members of the community feel like it needs to be more inclusive, I can understand their push for it. But I also think like I think when it's used against us a lot of times is like, oh, people in the LGBTQ plus community, like they expect us to know all these letters, and if we don't, then we're terrible people. And like I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
And I also don't think that like if you're out of your way to going out of your way to tell everyone when they tell you like you're wrong, or how do I want to word this? Like
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
like how you
being
say it.
like if you're and if I'm like a member of something, I like when I came out as gay and was doing all that stuff, I wanted as much like understanding and almost like normalcy as possible. But I don't think you're going to get that reaction if you're mad at somebody for messing up. Like I remember for a really long time I was really afraid about like what if I accidentally misidentify somebody by their like the pronouns that I like and they're trans, because would never want to like intentionally make somebody feel bad. But
Hmm.
like someone also reminded me that like if I'm feeling that way already, if that happens to me, I'm more likely to apologize and have a civil interaction with that person after, opposed
Yeah,
to like a hostile
that's
one.
a good point.
And so like I do think in those situations it does take two to tango.
Hmm.
And if the person you're talking to is not going to be someone that's going to respond well to that, I'm not saying you're poking a bear, but I also like choose your battles, you know? We can use these movements to really inform people at times. Um, but like I'm not saying we shouldn't try with everyone, but if somebody's instantly pushing back, like let's try with somebody else and get somebody else to understand you, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So that said, I'm LGBTQ plus. That's like how I identify in that community. I'm not somebody um that's intersex or asexual. So for me, queer is okay. But if I met enough asexual and intersex people that said, "Hey, I feel excluded by that," I probably would change my mind. You know, just because that's who I am. You know, I would want to be more accepting because I would want the same grace given to me.
Okay. I like that. That makes sense. And I guess for me, and the only reason I brought this up was more from a joking perspective, and as I'm a straight man, when I kept seeing things getting added to me, I was like, hey, gay people, lesbians, trans have gone through so much abuse over the years and so much struggle. So then for me, somebody who was like, oh, I'm like questioning, it's like, hey, fuck you, dude. Like, people have really gone through it. Relax.
Hmm.
But then I don't know if I'm just being an insensitive straight man, you know? Like, am I just being a dick? Or am I. It's like, do
I,
you.
I
To
guess I'm
me, it just felt
confused.
kind of like a slap in the face almost. I was like, hey, come on. Like, you're not. You can't say that you're questioning you're asexual and you're there's people going
Sure.
through
Okay.
who have
Okay.
been
Well,
getting
so
abused by
so
society for years. Like to me, that's what like I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and maybe
no, no.
I'm not
So
giving.
I hear you, but I think the average straight guy, to your point, doesn't know queer history.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah, I'm sure. Exactly. That's what I mean. Is I'm sure like I'm probably just missing shit, and I'm not
and
thinking of it in the right way. You know.
yeah, and I
Um.
think I'm still learning all the time too.
Yeah.
So like I've been told, and I don't have a source for this story, so if I'm wrong, kill me. But like LGBTQ is one of the few times ever where a female thing is referenced before a male. And that
Mm-hmm.
was because lesbians took care of gay people, gay men specifically, during the AIDS crisis because
Mm-hmm.
their families wouldn't talk to them. And so, as a thank you, that I've been told that that's the reason that that's put in that order. Um,
I like that.
trans women or drag queens, which you could argue some were trans women. I can't remember the drag queen Marsha. Oh, I'm blanking on her name. I feel so bad. I don't remember if she was trans or just a drag queen. But when if you've heard of the Stonewall
Daryl was telling
riots,
me
that
about this. Yeah.
Hmm.
that was started by black
Mm-hmm.
drag queens. So I don't think it's fair to say like, oh, one group has gone through so much, because I think the queer community as a whole has gone through all of that. Queer really doesn't mean like questioning. It just means like you're not sure exactly where you fit. Like
Mm-hmm.
you may think you may be attracted to both genders, but sometimes you're not attracted to like, or you're not interested in sex, right? Like you maybe identify as queer because like yeah, you like people and you want to talk to them and want to have a romantic relationship with them, but you don't want sex. You know, like that might be somebody they don't feel like they're bi because they're not actually having sex with these people, but they'll date anyone and they could have that life partnership with anyone, you know? So I think it's more like, and that's why I'm okay with ending at like Q plus, because the idea is to include anyone that feels like that kind of confusion or
Yeah.
way without
And that's
having
what the
to
plus
put.
is for, is to
That makes
Mhm,
include
sense. Yeah.
everybody
mhm.
and every other
Yeah.
variation.
And I understand why like some people are like, oh, I don't want to add the letters because queer plus like that's supposed to be the umbrella term that includes everyone else. But at the same time, if I don't fit in those other marginalized groups where I could tell you that I've like been excluded, and like queer people aren't perfect. We have sometimes like moments of misogyny, racism, and other things within our own group. So to say that some people maybe haven't felt oppressed wouldn't be true.
Yeah. I guess to
Yeah.
me, it's more like the ones like what do they call it? Where you're like attracted to intelligence, and it's like, aren't we all kind of like, don't we all kind of
Yeah.
like somebody who's smart?
And
You know,
you know what?
to
Like,
me, those
I
type
can
of things are
understand.
like you're abusing, like using a new term for your sexualization when it's like everybody's into somebody who has a brain, right?
So I
Like,
guess
why
like
are
if
you trying
that
to make a
person was
term for
straight
it?
and then they were like becoming an intelligent elitist and then like masking
Yeah,
that as
yeah,
like being
exactly. That's what I
queer.
mean. You know what I'm talking about. You hear these
Yeah,
people and
like
you're like, dude,
that
shut the fuck
I
up.
wouldn't
Like,
say
you don't deserve a
necessarily.
term. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I
You're
think
taking it
like
away
if
from the
you were
people who.
like I think if the gender part was removed out of it, like of who
Mhm.
you're attracted to, and it's more like, oh, like I like all genders, but it's something like I know people with pansexuals, they say they're attracted to like the personality of an individual, like the gender itself isn't important. I get that being under the queer umbrella. But if it's just some straight guy who's like an elitist and just like saying some shit, that's a different story.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. All right, see. I'm glad I brought it up. That was a good in-depth conversation about something, right?
Mhm.
That's what we're here for. Let's have some fun. Let's
Hell
talk
yeah.
some shit. Cool. Well, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about that. That was fun. I thought we had a good, insightful conversation about being gay in America right now, especially coming
Woo.
from a straight man. I thought that was fun. So thank you so much, Zach, for joining us. Do you guys got
Hmm.
anything else to add to this? You guys feeling pretty good? Want to? Good?
I feel great.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm
Just
pretty
solid,
ready
solid.
go to this Padre game. So cool.
Go pause.
Well, thank you so much, Zach, for joining us. That was amazing for one of our first big guest segments. I really appreciate you joining us and coming on the show. Maybe we'll have you again, down the line. We'll have you as our first reoccurring guest. You'll be the first official What the Duck is Happening reoccurring.
I can be your gay
Let's
correspondent. I
do it.
got you.
Yes, we'll get Zach's gay thoughts every couple months. We'll check back in and get Zach's gay thoughts. Zach
His gay take.
Zaque.
Gay take. Zaque.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Zach. I really appreciate it. You're the man. We love you. We'll wrap up this segment and then we will close out the show. Love you, buddy. See you
Love you.
later.
Always a pleasure.
Later, mate.
All right, so thank you so much for surviving the madness with us today. We want this to be a community, so please join in on the fun. Comment on things you want us to rant about, things like we did today. Let's have some fun with it. Hit me up on Instagram, YouTube, wherever. Maybe if you want to be a guest, we'll bring you on the show. We'll rant about whatever specialty you have to talk about. I think the biggest thing is we're all going through this shit show called life together, right? And let's have a fun space like this so we can get all of our shit out. Let's have some fun quacking about it instead of letting it eat us up from the inside. So remember, please follow, like, subscribe, leave a comment at What the Duck is Happening, and tune in next Monday because the world's not done pissing us off yet and we got plenty to quack about. Until next time, folks, keep on swimming. Thank you.